Hey, this is DK from dkspeaks.com and welcome to today's video. In this video, I am going to show you how to install WordPress with all the required plugins in there. One of the biggest problems that you normally face when installing WordPress, if you're doing a clean install from the beginning, is that you have to install your WordPress installation and then go about searching for each of the plugins and install them on your blog and then activate them and then go and configure them and do all of those things. The searching and installing plugins take quite a lot of time, but this is a very short and simple method that I follow in order to get my WordPress blog up and running with all the required plugins in there. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'll first show you how to install WordPress. Then I will show you what is it that I do to ensure that all my plugins are ready and available inside my WordPress installation. And all I need to do is go and get it activated and my WordPress blog is up and running. So I'll follow it in a very step-by-step, simple step-by-step method so that you're able to follow the instructions here and do exactly how I am doing. So I'm assuming that you know how to go about changing the name servers of your domain in order to point them to your hosting account. Now I have all my domains on a different domain registrar, and I'm showing you a hosting that I have with Bluehost. So this is a hosting that I have with Bluehost. So once you've changed the name servers and once you've mapped your domain name on your hosting account, if you want to go and install WordPress, I'm going to show you the steps once, after you've done the basic things like mapping your domain and changing the name servers and doing all of that. So the first thing that you do is that you go into databases and create a database for your WordPress installation. Now the domain that I'm going to configure here is called as makeearth.org. So I'm going to create a database out here. Let me input a database name here. So I'm showing this on Bluehost. You might have a different hosting, but since all of these hosting companies provide you with a cPanel which pretty much looks the same, you should be able to do this in exactly the same way that I'm doing out here. So now I have created a database here. Now I go back and I create a user for it. So I've already created a user name here. So all I'll do is I'll just map the user to the database out here. So you can see here, if you want to create a new user, what you do is you input the name of the user here. So let me show you how to create a user as well so that you understand how I do it. So I'm creating a username, a password for it. I copy the password, click use password, and I click on create user. Now I'll save these details so that I don't have to I don't have difficulty entering these details when I am configuring my WordPress blog. So let me open a notepad and I'll copy this information and paste that onto notepad in order to save it there. Okay, so now I go back, and once you've created the user, you need to assign the user to this specific database. So what I do is I select the user, which is the one that I created right now. In the database, I select the database and I click add. So that adds the user to the database, and you need to check on all privileges and click make changes. So that is pretty much it in order to create the database and the user. So you're done with that. So now what you do is you go back to your cPanel homepage and you want to go into the file manager for the specific specific domain that you're going to install WordPress on. So I click on file manager out here and I select the domain name. The domain name is here, so I select that and I click on go, and that should open the file manager out here. Okay, so now we are ready to install WordPress out here. Now there are some files that are pre-installed, This is there in most of the Bluehost hostings, so I'll delete all of them. I don't need any of them, so I'll delete those files. Okay, now we are ready to install WordPress on our domain name. So first thing that you do is you go to wordpress.org. Now you go to wordpress.org and you download WordPress from there. When you click download WordPress, it will take you to a page from where you can download WordPress. So I have already downloaded WordPress, the zip file. I'll show you how to go about customizing that to install on your file on your domain name. Okay, so here I am on my in the folder where I've downloaded WordPress. Now you see here there is WordPress 4.0. So I'll do one thing. I'll show you from the beginning how I go about doing it so that it is easy for you. Let me delete this. So once you've installed, you need to be very careful about these steps because this is where most of the people go wrong when they install WordPress. So you've installed, you've downloaded the WordPress file. It's a zip file here. You can see the zip file out here. So what you do is you right click it and extract here. So that extracts the WordPress file into a folder here. Okay, so you see here the folder is here. Now you go inside the folder and you will find all of these files that are primarily the WordPress files. So you select all of them and then right click, add to archive, zip that into an archive file. Now that archive file will be there inside this folder. This is an essential step in order to ensure that you're not messing up on your installation. So you see the archive file out here, which is titled WordPress. Okay. Now this is primarily how you go about installing WordPress, if a normal WordPress installation. But the step that I am going to show is slightly different. So let me delete this archive here and show you how I do it. Now what I've done is I've downloaded all of the plugins that are essential, that I think are very important for any WordPress blog. If you're installing a WordPress blog that is meant for affiliate marketing or build niche websites, or even set up a blog, these are some of the basic plugins that are required for any WordPress installation. Now you might want to add other plugins here, or you can delete any of these. It's entirely up to you. So you'll see a list of these plugins just beneath this video in the description box or in the post below. You can go about and click those links and download these plugins. These are all free plugins that are available at wordpress.org. So let me show you how to download these plugins from wordpress.org. So you go to wordpress.org and you click on plugins out here. It will take you to the plugins page from where you can search for plugins or download any of these plugins. Now suppose I want to download a plugin called as XML sitemap. So all I do is I search for the plugin. So here it is, XML sitemap. You'll see all the options for XML sitemaps. So you click on this, Google XML sitemaps. Now this is basically what I want. So I click on this option out here. So it will ask me if I want to save the file. I'll save the file to the folder. Now let me show you. The file is here. Okay, so once that is done, what I do is I right click on it and I once again do extract here. Please do not do extract files because these files will get extracted into a different folder. You don't want to be doing that. Just click on extract here and that extracts the file here. This is what it is. So now similarly I've downloaded all of these plugins here and extracted all of these files. So these are the plugins that I need for my blog. So what I do is I click on all of these, I cut them. Okay, I go into my WordPress folder where I had extracted the WordPress files. I go into the WP content folder, into the plugins folder, and I paste all of them here. So now I have all of these plugins in here. Now what I do is I go back to the folder, the WordPress folder where I had extracted all of these, and I select all of these files, I right click, click on add to archive, select the zip option and click OK. So that compresses all of these files into an archive, a zip archive, which I can then upload to my hosting server. So once this is done, it should be zipped in a minute. Okay, so the zip is ready. Now what I do is I go into my file manager out here. I click on upload. I'm going to upload this folder, this file, this zipped file into the folder, into the file manager, to the folder for the domain that I'm going to install my WordPress blog on. Okay, so I'll show you how to go about doing that. Click on browse. Okay, so I go to the folder here and I select WordPress. Click open. So now that will upload the file into the folder. So I'll let the file upload. It will take about a couple of minutes and then I'll come back once the file has been uploaded. Okay, so you see that the file has now been uploaded. Now you can go to your folder in the file manager. You see here the file is here. You click on this and you click on extract. Once the file is extracted, it will show up here. So just click on reload and you should see the file out here. So you've extracted all of the contents from this folder. Now all you need to do is just go into the domain, just type the name of the domain in the browser address bar, and you will be taken to the installation page. Click on continue. Okay, I click on let's go. Here I need to enter the details, database name, username, the password and all of those things. So I will enter all of that here and then I click on submit. That takes me to the page where it'll ask me to run the install. I click on run the install and that should finish the installation of the blog. Now all I need to do is just enter the details out here. So I'll enter the details for the blog here. So okay, let me enter my username. I will have to create a password. So I will recommend using something like LastPass, which is something that I use often, and I create a password which is 48 characters in length, because you know how vulnerable WordPress is to to hackers and to all of these malicious scripts. So it is good if you are able to create a very strong password, and a 48 character password is absolutely impossible to be hacked. So that is why I use a 48 character password out here. So I enter the password out here and I enter my email address, and I keep this checked, allow search engines to index this site, because if you don't do that, your WordPress blog or your WordPress site will not be indexed by the search engines. I click on install WordPress and that should finish this. So the WordPress blog has been installed. Now I'll go and show you how it looks at the dashboard. So I click on login. It'll take me to the login page, and you see here this is something that I just said. I can use LastPass as a login manager as well. I used all of my passwords here. It is a very nice and secure password manager if you create a lot of WordPress blogs and if you want to create 48 character passwords for your blogs. So now I am on the home page of my blog here. You go to plugins and you click on install plugins, and you should see all of the plugins that you wanted out here. So all you need to do is just check this, go to activate and click on apply. So that will activate all of these plugins that are required for your blog. So you've saved a lot of time trying to go about installing each of these plugins individually and then configuring them. So, you're pretty much halfway through the installation of your WordPress blog, and all you need to do is just do some tweaks here and there and configure these plugins so that your WordPress blog is up and running. So this is a very nifty little trick that I've been using for quite some time. You can use other plugins as well, but these are some of the basic plugins that I think every WordPress blog should have. You will find a list of these plugins just beneath this video. You can go and click on those links and you will be taken to the free, to the page from where you can download these plugins. These are all free plugins available at the plugins repository on WordPress. So you can download all of these plugins from there. So this is something that I've been using for quite some time, and it has helped me reduce a lot of time that I would otherwise spend on installing WordPress. Now there is another very handy little software that I use in order to simplify my WordPress installation and manage all my WordPress blogs. So what this does is this helps me go about managing all of the all of the work related to my WordPress blog in terms of updating the plugins, because most of these plugins keep releasing a latest version depending upon the versions that are launched by WordPress. So you need to constantly update your plugins and your themes. Now this simple dashboard software that I spoke about, which is called as WP Pipeline, helps me manage all of my WordPress blog from one simple dashboard. You can update your plugins from that dashboard. You can update your themes. You can update your WordPress installation. You can do all of these things, and you can even install all of the required plugins from the dashboard there. So which means that this entire step that I showed you here can all be done from that one single dashboard. WP Pipeline is a very handy little plugin if you manage a lot of WordPress blogs, and it'll ensure that you don't have to log into each of those WordPress blogs in order to go and update the plugins and the themes there, or install plugins for your WordPress blogs. You will find a link to order WP Pipeline just beneath this video. Go ahead, click that link. You will get a nice little discount if you order WP Pipeline today, and it'll help you save a lot of time that you would otherwise be spending on managing your WordPress blogs. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next video, this is DK signing off. Don't forget to tell me your thoughts by commenting below. I ensure that I reply to each of your comments. If you have any questions, you can mention your questions there as well. I will reply to that questions by replying to your comments. Thank you for watching. Until the next video, this is DK signing off. Bye.